Yeah. Got the flight book, it's a library. I'm in that deal. Just took a flight to Bora and foreign cars like foreigners. Very on her. Up in France, bitch, bonjour. I been come to go so we going Paris tomorrow. Only Paris we carry, spin at the mall. We doing same alone. My diamonds be saying, add some more change. That's the same alone. Dripping all the way from home and taking the wrong. Got the flight book, it's a library. We ain't flying solo. Tune in to the show. It's the Passport Bros. No excuse entertainment. Jay Slay on the show. Turn it up some more. It's the Passport Bros.
Yo, what's good, Passport Bros podcast, man? Hope all is well. So as we are in the 2023, I put together a list of countries I believe are ideal for Passport Bros, and Argentina is one of those countries. So those who probably missed that stream and missed that information, the 10 countries were compiled by looking at a lot of different factors. One factor was the family court laws as it relates compared to the United States and the rest of the Western world. Argentina is a country that doesn't participate in the treaty. It basically is having, family court judgments, enforcements by the U.S. if that's your home country. So that was one element I looked into. Also, the ability to buy land outright as a foreigner. So just in case you don't know, there are countries that guys love, some in, a lot of, let's say Asia and particularly where you can't own land outright. You have to buy land and sometimes even start a business with a local partner, with them being, majority owner, 51% ownership. So Argentina is one of the countries, pretty much most of the countries in South America, you could own land as a foreigner. Also, I looked into, I would say the dating culture, adult entertainment options as well, and then also cost. The cost. And I'm trying to think if there's any other factors that I'm not mentioning at the moment. But basically, I did a lot of research and came up with these 10 countries. Argentina was one of them. It was a surprise to some, and some people were already interested in the country. So I'm going to introduce Mike. So Mike, he's in Argentina. I've seen him, post some things, in one of our groups, and the brother, has some nice, things to share. Unfortunately, we're not canned up today, but he's a he's a well put together brother, and so I was like, man, he's in Argentina. Maybe he can give a perspective. So, Mike, if you don't mind to introduce yourself to everyone.
Absolutely. So, appreciate you, Rob, for putting this together. It's very professional and nicely set up. But my name is Mike. I live currently in Puerto Madero, Buenos Aires, Argentina. That's actually the most richest place in all of Latin America, richest city in all of Latin America. I've lived in 18 countries in Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, and now in Latin America. And how I got, to coming to Latin America was actually my ex in New York. She was a Colombian American. We were together for 4 years in New York, and I told her, hey, let's move to your city, Laureles in Medellin, and she, wasn't really with it for professional and fidelity reasons that I had at the time. So that's how I got to Medellin. It was supposed to be like a 2-3 day weekend or a week, and then it turned to a weekend and a month. And then, I dated a girl there, and I ended up in all over Latin America. Um, and yeah, how I got to Argentina, since this cast today is about Argentina. Basically, I'm not really a personally, like every man is allowed to do whatever he wants. I don't judge it. I don't really care what everybody else does, but I'm not much like a P for P type of person. Um, and I wasn't really feeling that the majority of women in Colombia was, a lot P for P. So I basically was forced to have a girlfriend there because I'd invite some girls over to my house and I would stay up all night. I wouldn't go to sleep until they left. And it just defeated the purpose of going to a country to enjoy yourself and live a peaceful, fruitful life. So I went to Brazil, which is a lot less there, but I'm sure Rob asked questions and whatnot, and I was just tired of that. The big two countries, Brazil, Colombia, and I came to Argentina. But I spoke for a lot. I'll give it back to Rob, and I'm happy to talk about Argentina.
Okay, no, cool. So you're well traveled. You may have a unique perspective, like you said. You're not really one that been into pay for play like that for for valid reasons. A lot of guys are not too much into pay for play, but for the most part, they say they dabble with it, they experienced it just to say they did it, and and for a lot of guys, it's not for them on a consistent basis. So I started off kind of mentioning why I chose Argentina as far as one of the countries to focus on 2023. Why did you choose to visit Argentina?
So basically, me, let me, I mean, so basically, um, I broke up with every time I break up with like my girlfriend in the country, I always seem to leave the country. Like I left the
Mhm.
United States after I broke up with my Colombian. Then I dated another girl in Colombia for 2 years. We actually lived together. She told me Spanish, the whole 9 yards. Um, and then I was about to start dating another girl in Medellin, but I was like, let me try Brazil. So I lived in Sao Paulo and Rio. I found that Sao Paulo had a little bit more serious type of woman, more normal, and that's what I'm into, like just as normal as can be. Um, and they never, would ask you for like a Uber, nothing like that. I actually dated, I don't know if you guys know Bolsonaro, his lawyer. I dated the daughter of the lawyer. And,
Hmm.
I like to date. I dated women that, on Netflix. I like to date, women that have things going for themselves, and some women that their dads would give them homes, things like that. So, anyways, I just wanted to try something different besides Colombia, Argentina, things like that. Just because they're kind of used to us in those countries. I just feel like you're working on an uphill like battle. We're not just trying to smash. Like a lot of these countries they don't really take you as serious. But in Argentina, I was like, what? I was about to leave Brazil and go to Europe, go to Germany, and I opened the map, and I didn't know, as Americans, we don't even know where Argentina is. We think it's in Europe, and I seen that it was connected to Brazil. I was like, wait, this is crazy, So as usual, I was like, you know what? Let me get me and my dog. I travel with my dog, and let me get him some papers. And I got the papers, blah blah. But then I got the ticket, but ended up not going when the time came. So then a month later, I was like, you know what? My dating applications are like popping like crazy. The women were waiting for me for like 2 3 months, and I was getting good vibes. It was nothing about color, nothing like that. I didn't even know anything about the country.
Mhm.
So then the next month came, I got the ticket again, got his documents for my dog to travel. I ended up in Argentina, thinking I'm gonna be here for 2 to 3 days. I won't lie. The first day I came, I was like, all right, cool.
Mhm.
And then the second night, there was this girl. She was like pretty sexy. Like, and I'm from
Mhm.
New York, so I'm used to like sexy women. And yeah, like the girl, she had a car, which I've never experienced that in Colombia. For example. And then she came to pick me up, like a young girl, like 23. She was actually a pilot for I think Qatar or something like that.
Oh wow.
And she was like, yeah, like I'm taking some classes to learn how to fly a plane. And she's like, yeah, sometime we can do that, blah blah. But anyways, like I ordered some rappy, at like 11 o'clock, and she's like, all right, so finish eating. I'm gonna come pick you up, take you out for a drink, and then that was it. She picked me up with her car, which that's pretty cool in Latin America. She paid for the drinks, everything, and then she dropped me right back home. After, we like, she stayed over a little bit, and yeah. So then the second day or the third day, there's another chick. She also had a car, and she came to pick me up. I mean, in 1 week, right? In Colombia, the chicks asking you for an Uber, probably not all of them, but let's be realistic. And then I was like, I might just stay a week, and then a week turned to a month, and I just started to see like the cultural difference, things like that. But on the third day, I was like, yo, like, where the fuck is all the black people? Like I said, I just came spontaneously. I don't really, put much thought into things, right? Like when it comes to traveling and shit. So then I was like, yo, like I'm really the only black person here, because I wasn't paying attention to that. And yeah, so but the thing is, I won't lie though, I do see in my gym, for example, I have about like 5 black brothers. And then in a week you might see like maybe like 10 to 15, so it's bad in terms of like diversity, but you'll see some brothers, but you just gotta that's I'm gonna give you the good at the bad.
Okay. Man, that's what's up, man. Let me shout out to Charles Jones in the chat, man. He mentioned it's not a surprise to me. I've been to Buenos Aires 3 times already. That's what's up, man. And if you could come up later, man, I'll drop the link, man. If you're not doing that, man, love to give a different perspective. He said Nunez is another affluent area. Same with Recoleta. Okay. He said Argentina is really dope. Okay, okay. Yeah, so that's good. So that's some interesting things, man. So just repeat yourself again. You said you dated somebody close to the former Brazilian president Bolsonaro.
Yeah, so basically his lawyer, I met him at the dog park. So no, I met the lawyer. So the second in command to the lawyer. He's a lawyer, and he gave me his card. I still have it till today. And if I ever get in trouble, like at the airport, I have some problems with my dog. And after like 2 days, I forgot I had the card, and I called him, and everything got fixed in like 5 minutes. But anyways, yeah, I dated his daughter. So I lived in Brooklyn, Sao Paulo. It's Brooklyn, not Lyn, like United States. And yeah, that area, I met a lot of very, very influential people. My building, we had people like with like millions of followers on Instagram and whatnot. They're really cool, they just talk to you like normal. But yeah, so I was already used to like being around white people all the time, because in these countries they do have their own forms of racism, right? So you're gonna be around white people, you're gonna live in like the safer, more influential places. So that's what kind of made me think like, hey, I had an idea that maybe Argentina was white, but I never seen a place this white. So that I was like, if I'm already living in all these white places, why not just go over to Argentina and try it out? And what's the fucking difference? It's all the same shit, right? So,
okay. So yeah. By you, I guess by you being, a black man from America, have you ever got the sense that anyone was surprised of your status and just how you carry yourself?
Nah, because the thing is, where I live, it's Puerto Madero. I know a lot about Argentina now. I'm going on 8 months here now, and I live in Puerto Madero, which is the richest part of all of Latin America, all of Latin America. And people here, the homes are like $800,000. You see like AMGs and M3s and Ferraris here, like it's normal here. So people here have lots of money. And there's a lot of rich black people here. Like my neighbor, he was living here with his family. He's from Miami, and he actually works at the embassy here for like American soldiers. so you're gonna see a lot of money here, and it's just normal, So they don't really care about that, and they're not really big fans of the United States here. I think somebody in the group was saying that they more so care about Europe because they're 65% Italian, majority of the population, 35% European. So if you come here like on a cocky tip, they will just like ignore you. They're very prideful. I've never seen a country as prideful as us, other than Argentina. Like how Americans, like how, for example, you asking me this question now, like we're special essentially, right? But they don't care. They think they're more special than us. I've never seen a country like that in all the 18 countries I've been to. So that doesn't really work. You just got to just be normal. Like talking about your color, you're turning them off. Like they'll just bounce. Like Argentina women are like very, very different from the rest of Latin American women. They're very straightforward. And you gotta see it, you gotta experience it, to see what I'm saying. But I feel like they're the easiest because you don't have all the bullshit and you don't have to try to sell yourself. Just talk to them a little bit, maybe go out with them if you want. You don't have to. Like for example, tonight I got two girls that I'm gonna just meet up with without, spending any money, nothing like that. They just come straight over. So one I'm gonna go to because she usually come to my place, and the other one she's gonna come over after. So yeah.
Okay, that's what's up, man. I want to say, Charles said Brazilians are prideful too. I would say South Africans are very proud. They are very proud because they they're one of the countries where people least migrate from because they have, they pretty much have everything there. So they're very prideful as well.
But in terms of like, I know, there's more so about like the women in this podcast today, and everybody was asking about their dick. I specifically turned on my camera in my apartment yesterday night when I had this one chick over. Let me see if I can find the clip. Not now, but throughout the podcast, I'll try to find it and pull it up if you want.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. So in summary, was there anything? I guess what put Argentina, I guess, as far as a country you want to visit? Did you like hear someone talk about it, or you just researching different countries, or was it just random?
It was just random because like I was like, man, like I'm looking for somewhere, that has the same like business time zone kind of as New York, EST, and Argentina at the time was only 1 hour ahead. Now it's 2 hours ahead, but in a few months it'll change back to an hour. And I didn't know about the currency, nothing. I just the color of the people. I just just guessing, like and I was like, all right, this place, it's actually attached to Brazil. I can go here, try it out. It's the same business time zone, so everything should work out. So dog parks. I travel with my dog, like I said, and I was not finding as many clean dog parks, things like that, in other countries. Like for example, Medellin, the city, not the country, Colombia, but Medellin is great for dogs, right? So easy. And our Brazil, Sao Paulo, Rio didn't really have things as easy for me, right, with my dog. And Argentina, it was just working, like for me, the business time, the dog parks, and like I know it sounds crazy, but things like that was like, all right, just try it out, see how it goes. I was not thinking of staying more than 2-3 days. I had no intentions to, I was like, who the fuck goes to Argentina in the first place, and then I won't lie, the woman was just making it that much more easier. It was like I was like, like having like sex again, like I was in like university, like I never had so much sex in my life. But it wasn't what I was set out to do. It was just they were coming, and I sat down after like 3 weeks. I'm like, damn, bro, like what the fuck, like like I'm on a sex rampage. I gotta take it easy. So I took like 2 weeks, and then I was just chilling. But it was also because like the first like 2-3 weeks, women were on the apps, like in the park, in the dog park. The women were just coming up. They're like, just talking to me and shit and like flirting. But on the apps, so if you brothers want to try the apps before you come, like, I remember that being from the United States, New York at least, very diverse place, the women were asking me things like, "Hey, have you ever been with a white woman?" And I'm like, as an American, I don't know how it works in other states, but in the United States, you take that as a joke, like a little 2 second thing, and you keep the conversation going, right?
Mhm.
Or like if you say it to a girl, like she might just be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And just keep it moving. So I'm kept it moving and like, all right, whatever. Like, how are you? But they kept on going back to it. So for like 2 3 weeks, I didn't know that they were being serious. So I'm like, after when I came to the realization they were being serious, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Because it came to like a point where 2 3 girls they got mad at me for changing the conversation, but I wasn't changing. I was just being natural flow of conversation as an American with that type of topic. So then they were like, now like I've never been with a black man, and I'm like, wait, what? Like I didn't know there's places in the world that but besides like Malta and Italy, where I used to live. And I'm like, I didn't know we had somewhere so close to the United States like that. Like whereas it was that rare. So like women were just like, some were like, hey, I want to try you, I want to like fuck, I want this and that. I have a boyfriend, I have a husband, but I'm gonna come over like with my girlfriend, and we both want to have a threesome. All these different crazy things, and I'm like, I'm thinking it's a joke, but they're being dead serious. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
There was that for
Well, that's our Argentina woman, bro. That's like this is normal, bro. Like, I mean, I take screenshots. I don't have them readily available now, but I'll put them in the group sometime because I know people won't believe it. But today, for example, let me see what this chick said. So she basically said, "Te escribió después de cenar, blah 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 por la vino." I said, "Come over, let's have some vino and let's see whatever happens." And she's like, yeah. So like about 5 minutes before this started, and I had to pretty much do the logistics of how I'm gonna fuck the one after. I'm done with this interview, like around 9 o'clock, and then this one will come over to my place around 11. So it's like I said, it's about 2 to 3 every day. She speaks English. Let me play it for you guys. So you guys can see they speak English here. And also in Argentina, it's like most diverse country as far as English in all of Latin America, because UBA is a school that people from all over Latin America come to study because it's free. It has the best university, so they're very, very educated here. So you just can't be like a thug, and you'll be good. But let me see. Let me see if I can play this audio for you guys. So you can see how they speak English here. Give me 1 minute. Let me switch to audio. This is not just one girl. This is like almost everybody here speaks English. So I'll play it for you guys. One minute. Okay. So
I'm home this time, so I don't move.
So I mean, that's just like you speak to them. You don't need to know Spanish, but I mean,
if you don't want, it's okay.
So she just
another thing.
saying that like she wants me to come over to her place this time because she always comes over in mine. But yeah, they speak English, and we're just talking about just getting straight to it. So that's really how it is here. You don't got to worry. There's no money talks, no flash or bling bling, nothing like that necessary. And they have cars. They'll drop you off at home, whatever.
Whoa. So you said a couple of things I'm kind of surprised about. Well, one thing. Well, first thing I'm surprised about is the language that a lot of them speak English. I never knew that. That is good, especially for a lot of brothers that don't speak Spanish. Do you speak Spanish, by the way?
Yeah, I speak 5 languages. I speak French, English, Yoruba, Portuguese, and the 5th one would be English, right? Yeah, English. But I'm gonna learn Mandarin, Chinese, in a little bit. But yeah.
Okay, so man, just tell me about how did this threesome idea come up? Did she just flat out say it? Like how did that conversation start off and get to that point?
But I switched back to my computer mic. I don't know if it's still fine before I answer that question.
You good?
Yes. So basically, this wasn't like a one-time occurrence. It just like it was just the fact that they wanted to like I'll tell you about a trend that I notice here. It's usually about like at 7 years to 14 years, about 14 years. If they're married, they a lot of times they'll be like, hey, I take screenshots of this shit because I can't even believe it myself sometimes. But they'll be like, hey, I'm gonna divorce my husband, or I'm gonna break up with my boyfriend in like a week or two, and some shit like that. And I'm like, hey, cool, like I don't really give a fuck, but and they'd be like, I want to try you or something like that, or as a black man here. And the first time you're gonna take it as a joke because you want them to take it seriously. Because and basically you don't take it seriously, and then they'll be like, "Hey, like my girlfriend also too," or things like that. And it's just like that. So it's not like you're searching for it. You are exotic, maybe in that sense, as a black man, but I don't really. I just let things flow. I don't see myself as an American or a black man. Using that to my advantage. Because they're very intelligent. And if you just be normal and act like yourself, you'll be good. But if they sense that you're, like I said, they're very prideful. They think they're the best in Argentina as a people, the men and the women. You just be cool and you'll be straight, and you'll just begin like things thrown your way. But that's because here there's not so much of a culture of, you know, how can I say, like travelers coming here. For like a sex pose. So you used to have the option and the chance to just be normal. You don't have to sell, nothing like that. They won't sell, just let it flow. But my conversations, for example, on the apps, usually just, hey, like, how are you? And then they just say good or whatever. And then I'll just say good too. I'm in the bed watching basketball with my dog. Where you live? They tell me where they live. I say I'm from New York, but I'm living in Puerto Madero. What do you want from here? They tell me blah blah. Usually in Argentina, you're gonna hear "pasarla bien," which is just have a good time. Or a lot of times, they'll just say I just want sex, right? That happen a lot, a lot. It's usually like 33% of the time "pasarla bien," which is just go out for a drink. Let's go back to your place, right? And then the other 33% be like just sexo, not a serio, right? You guys understand Spanish, right? So
Nothing
then,
serious.
yeah, and the other 33% would just be like some bullshit, like maybe they're just trying. They're tired of getting fucked over by men because there's a lot of like men, I guess, to fuck over women. But you can fuck those ones too. You just gotta maybe take them out on a drink or something. But if you do talk to them for like 2-3 weeks, which I never really did. I only did one time when I was in New York last month, and I realized that, man, they were all coming over like when I got back, like with no hesitation. But I'm not up for that because there's so much of them here that would just come over without all the bullshit. So that's usually how it goes here. But it's a very sexual country, like, and the women here are very feminine. They say it's like one of the first feminist country in Latin America, but for me, man, like, I mean, I never experienced like, there's no arguments, there's no fighting between the two sexes. Like, that's the thing I like about Argentina. Like, there's no power struggle going on here currently. And you won't really ever really find yourself in a fuck you type of situation with a woman here. They don't like drama, things like that, but they love to have a good time.
So, all right. So, man, my mind is crazy right now. So, Brazil is one country where I feel like casual sex is a norm. People randomly make out at some of the clubs. You could talk about sex. They're not offended by that. Very, very casual, very laid back casual sex culture in Brazil. How would you compare Brazil to Argentina?
Well, the thing is, I felt like well, the two big countries. I'll first respond to your question with Brazil. Brazil, I felt like was kind of like underrated, man, because I lived in, like I said, 18 countries, right? Pretty much almost every continent besides Asia and what's the cold place, Antarctica, some shit like that. Yeah. So, and I just felt like Brazil was just, I don't know, I think if you traveled a lot, it's just not that special because it's a mixture of Colombia and its own flavor, right? you still have to weed through things and all this bullshit, and and then they're used to you. They like if you're looking for a certain type of girl, they probably won't fuck with like with you because they're from a certain type of family, or hey, don't fuck with those gringos. Like they just come here for sex, or I see the groups. I see what you guys are talking about all the time. Everybody wants a good girl. The same people I've seen talking about that when I joined the group like 2 years ago. When I touchdown and 2-3 years ago when I touched down Latin America, they're still talking about the same things. But me, I don't like to harp on things for too long. So I was like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm gonna explore new territories. Now that I'm older and I have different perspective on things that I want in life, and things that I want to tolerate. But I just felt like it's just too much to weed through. It's a better version of Colombia. That's what I feel like. It's less prostitution, less having to pay for women, but it's still like a clusterfuck for me. I feel like it's just like I'm just doing a bunch of I don't know. I don't really gel much for Brazil. I don't see the allure. You have the beaches, all that type of shit. I just don't see what's so special about Brazil personally. But that's probably not the best answer because everybody loves Brazil except for me. But it wasn't so special. I just didn't. Besides it has beautiful black women, yeah, that I'd love to come back to Brazil at some point just for that. But they have that in New York as well. There was nothing that stood out for me about Brazil. Yeah.
No, I agree, but but I feel the same way about Brazil. Brazil, they do have the beaches. They do have some dimes. They do have some women that you would never find anywhere on this earth. So they have some unique things about Brazil. I think as a single man, I think as a paradise for men that want to be single.
But if I could interrupt you again, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I didn't like, actually, we're talking about, I thought Brazil, in all the countries I've ever been to, the women played the most games there than all the countries I've ever been to. That's what I forgot to say. So for example, you could have like 10 dates, right? Like I'd be flooded with dates, right? And then they would come, you could have 20, for example, right? Literally, I'm not making this up. And then like it'd be the day and then maybe 2 would be down. Actually like last week, I think I switched my location to Brazil, right? And I'd get flooded like many attractive women, and even like the black women, you're like, hey, let me date black women because they have like a shortage of like men that want to date them, all that type of shit. But they all do the same shit, and I just don't have time for that. I don't have time to be chasing women, and playing stupid games or talking to you like for 1 week, 2 days. Nah, like it. Like if it's what's up, then it's what's up. Like we're going straight to it. That's what I'm used to. But I feel like Colombia, like, hey, it's more like P for P or go out and date for like a time, like 30 minutes, and you're in there, right? Brazil, before you can even go out and date, right? Because most of them, in my experience, hey, I'm not saying I'm like Superman with the women. In my experience, Brazil, most of them wouldn't just come straight over, right? At least where I live. But then, all right, fuck it. Let me just go on dates. Maybe that's how it works here. But it's just too much flaking for me, and I don't got time for that. Like, and it makes you sucked into the system where you become a chaser, and I'm just not that personally. But that's my experience. Maybe another guy has, better experience in Brazil, but that's my personal experience.
No, that's what's up. I mean, a lot of us are gonna have countries that just we vibe with better, or the women vibe with them better. So I visited as many as I could, and for me, it was a couple of countries that just vibe with me, and vice versa, the best. So,
the white women in Brazil, yeah, I vibe with them more than the black women. The black women, they'll say, hey, like the black men here want to date. They'll literally be telling me, they say they want to date like the lighter skinned woman or white woman.
Exactly.
But then they do the same shit, like
exactly.
Well, so I'm like, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna just go over to the ones that show me the most love. I don't know Dennis James or Dennis Pierre, the DJP. He said the same thing. Like the lighter skin and a white woman fucked at him more. And then I came to. He's actually one of the reasons why, one of the people who opened me up to Brazil. And I was, let me try a black woman. And yeah, fuck it. You know.
No, I felt the same way. I prefer black women or Afro Latinas or African women, but Brazil, even though we're talking about Brazil, I mean Argentina, but Brazil, I felt like the whiter women were the most attractive Brazilians, whereas in other countries, I probably I would probably look at the Afro Latinas to be more attractive than the not. But nevertheless, that's Brazil. What I wanted to so some things you was thinking about kind of stood out. So on one hand, Argentina sounds like a white version of South Africa, because when I went to South Africa, I used the term layups. Like every chick I met was a layup. It was like a new chick every day. You know what I mean? Feminine and all of that stuff. And so Argentina sounds like, in South Africa, I'm just using it as a comparison. That was a country where guys was like, they don't have pay for play. You don't need pay for play. You can just be yourself. And women, women, women. There's going to be a lot of women that's going to find you attractive. That's going to want to share time with you. And guys was right. It sounds like Argentina would be the same way. Like guys, because some guys stick to pay for play because they don't want to waste time on a trip, or they just think that it's going to be too much work. But it sounds like if guys gave Argentina a chance, they may discover, the same experience that you said. Now results may vary, but I guess I'll ask this question. So people don't know you, but like like you're in shape. I'm not sure how tall you are, or how you dress or carry yourself, but you seem like a person that that is a highly desirable person.
I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'10".
Okay, so and so one of my friends, he used this term, the Drake effect. He was like, you can't base. He said you can't base a person with the Drake effect to just an average looking guy. So not saying you got the Drake effect, but but do you think that the average man or the average looking man, let's say if you're a little bit out of shape, or you're average looking, do you think guys could have similar outcomes as you?
Definitely. That's a very good question. So like the Afro Latina chick that I was best with here before, but I'll just kind of divert a little bit from this question really quick. So yeah, I kind of got to Argentina as well because I was already fucking with a lot of white women in Brazil. I was like, what's the point of me being here, So yeah, I went to Argentina. So anyways, yeah, so the Afro Latina chick I was dealing with before here in Argentina, we're in a little mini relationship for a few months before I left to New York, and I'm actually in Puerto Madero now. I'm back here again. She was actually dating her brother before me. I didn't even know, two brothers. So her ex was he played professional football here in Argentina. He just went back to Colombia to play for their national team. And so they're not poor like people think. And her dad gave her an apartment, in cash, to live in, But anyways, so I was surprised to know that one, her ex was a brother, and then the other ex was an American from like I think Texas and shit, and he was just like a normal looking guy. And I'm like, wait, this could be this bitch's ex. Like I'm like, wait, he wasn't like an ugly guy, but he's like, just like normal guy, So that just opened my eyes to like, yeah, like that's just what it is, And another girl, like the pilot, her ex was a black guy, from like France, just a normal looking guy, So I don't really think, just from my experience with women in general, all over the world, I just see them all as the same. Like if they like you, they like you, And the girl that you think like will never fuck a guy that maybe is less than you in whatever aspect, it'd be height, it'd be looks, it'd be money. or personality, you'll be surprised. It's just sometimes you have dry times and you fuck like girls that you wouldn't normally fuck, no matter who you are. Everybody surprises has their own surprises. That's the way I see it, because just have like a regular ego and don't see it like, hey, like this guy looks this way, or I go to the gym a lot and you can't do it. But like in my gym, I see black guys like pulling, like no problem. But here in the gym, like a woman, you don't even need the apps if you don't want to. I use everything: the gym, the park, and the apps, right? So in the gym, for example, right, if you're just a normal looking guy, you're in a gym, you're gonna be there for attractive women, and you're gonna be fairly attractive because you're there like trying to improve yourself, right? But the women just come put their ass in their face, or they'll come asking you like, "Hey, you're working on this." You just talk to them right there and then. So there's many ways to meet them. If you're just a normal looking guy, if that's how you feel, or if you're an ugly looking guy, if that's how you feel, or a very good looking guy, there's many ways. In the elevator, some of them, might have that curiosity that you mentioned. Every once in a while you catch that curiosity. So long as you're respectful and open and nice. Hey, what's your Instagram or what's your phone number or WhatsApp? And there you go. But man, like you're gonna see that like sometimes interracial couples here, like older white men with black women, and younger black men with so and so women, and you'll be like, damn, this is a normal looking guy. So that I don't subscribe to, because man, I've been deceived by looks so many times. Like I just couldn't believe it.
Wow. So you mentioned earlier that you ran across a lot of women that was either in relationships or marriages that they said they was getting out, and they had no problem hooking up. Now, would are women jealous in the sense of, let's say it was the other way around? Let's say if you was in a relationship, would they still want to mess with you? Do you think, or
The thing is, when I was in my relationship, when I was living in this place called Palermo, Hollywood, a little bit more party, central place. So I used to fuck this this girl while before my girlfriend would come over to my house, or my apartment. So we'd make some time really quick while my dog was with his walker. I tell her, hey, my girlfriend's gonna be here at 7. She used to come over at 7 on Fridays, and then I'll go to her place. She lives about 5 minutes from me, from like 6:30 to like 6:45, get it in, and I make it back in time before my girlfriend get back. So like, yeah, they're cool. They don't really give a fuck. Like it's a very sexual place, and everybody's fucking. It's European. They're a little bit more reserved, but everybody's fucking. That's what caught me by surprise. They look so clean on the outside, but once you get inside that home, things are happening. And then there's another one. She actually went to Africa. She got to see what it feels like for a black man in Argentina. She's a white woman in Africa. She just got back, and we used to fuck all the time when I was with my girlfriend. So yeah, they don't really care here. Just you can't have like an ego like, hey, I'm the man. I got like a girlfriend. I'm fucking you. Just be normal, and everything would be cool.
Sounds like a lot of places, man. I don't know if you've been to Bogota, but Bogota.
Yeah, I used to live there.
Argentina sounds like Bogota in the sense of Bogota is very white. It's a lot of single women, and so you might be able to answer this question then. So I tell guys, Bogota could be an option for guys that like Colombia. They have a single atmosphere like New York City. I had no problem hooking up with women from Bogota. They don't see a lot of black men, so there is a lot of curiosity in women in Bogota. The only issues I've seen with Bogota is, one, the weather, and two, the time it takes for a woman to come through, because like every time I waited for a chick to come through, it was like 30, 45 minutes because the city is so big and so much traffic. So I couldn't like run. For me, it was like kind of hard to just kind of, run through chicks at the time, because it's like it just takes so much time for travel distance with Bogota?
Yeah, I lived in Bogota before I left Colombia. So I lived in Bogota with my ex. We moved a lot. So I lived all over Colombia, literally Cali, Cartagena, Bogota, Medellin, La Costa, Rodadero, Santa Marta. My dog's actually from Santa Marta. All over, many more places. Riahuacha, because my ex, she worked for the police in Colombia. And yeah, Bogota, yeah, about the jealousy, I had a whole different problem with jealousy there. The women in Argentina don't give a fuck. But yeah, the Bogota women, white women there, in terms of being like more, like you pop out, like when you hop outside, it's not the same as Argentina because they could just go to like Medellin or like a certain part of Bogota in the nighttime at Calle 10 to Cinco, they're gonna see black American men or black men, Colombian men or whatever. Like when you go to like the Perio clubs, I used to go to. So it's different. Argentina, you might be in a whole club and you're literally. I went out last week and I was the only black man there. There was like 2 or 3 other black women. But I was with this white girl and she was like all over me, and like all the women just come in like sitting next to us after a while. They're like, who's this black guy? Like this girl feels so comfortable doing this with out in public. And yeah, just getting inside, like the women are like talking to me, hey, where you from, blah blah. So you're like more like you stand out like Usher or some shit. You're gonna be like a superstar basically, So you have to have the balls and you have to be able to, not get nervous, like having that type of attention on you. Like it's a lot of attention. Like a lot. Like you're gonna get more attention than you ever could have asked for and you ever experienced in your life. And some men will be jealous. That's just a part of life, being black as a man. And some will be jealous. But they even try to like AMS. I don't fuck with him anymore. I fucked with 2017 AMS. And he had a video that time in 2017 where you're saying like you got to just ignore them, the cock blockers. That happens a lot, but the women do not give a fuck. They do not give a fuck. But as a man, and as black, you just gotta just, as a black man, just blow that off. For example, because last weekend I went out with this girl for my birthday, and yeah, man, like this chick was like all over me, like, and I'm like, damn, bitch, we're in public, yo. So like, and I just realized, like the chick effect. You see one chick that's attractive and more come over. But yeah, and you just gotta just be like brutal, like how do you say, be confident, right? But I realized that the night where I was speaking about diversity, another couple, me and her were spotting out black people all night. It's like just like a game, right? And there's another couple, like a black man with the white woman, and I was like, wow, so it does. You don't see them here, This is at a club called La Mala Pub or Club, if you guys want to look that up. So there's a good amount of diversity there, still.
So real quick, so we talk about this, especially like women that have their own, and just basically dealing with just non-working girls. There's always been, at least from my experience, an issue with women at work having time, because you mentioned a lot of girls coming through, and part of me is like, okay, how do they have? Are they working? Because some women, especially in Brazil and even Colombia, they will prefer to see you on the weekend, depending on where their job is, depending on where you stand at. And so, getting chicks to spend the night and go to work from their crib, some chicks just probably not going to want to do that because they just want to stick to their routine as far as work.
So my experience, for example, my ex, she worked with the government, like as some type of like data person or something like that. And yeah, she would stay over like about 4 to 5 days a week. And invite herself over. She also cooked for me. So my family is Nigerian and Puerto Rican, and she would make some banging ass jollof rice. And I'm like, God damn, I never had like a girl cook me food this good in all of Latin America. So I hear Colombia, oh, they cook for you. Brazil, they cook for you. But I mean, like, she would go out buy everything, and like to me that's not so special, but it was just like how good it tastes, and she would spend like 3 to 5 hours doing that, and if I didn't like it, she would start crying and shit. But anyways, so she would stay over like 3 to 4, 5 days, and then she'd go over to her job, in the morning, and whatnot, and come back at night if she wanted to. But yeah, there's another girl. She's a lawyer, and yeah, she would stay over, and then go to work. Um, all of them are pretty much working, not working girls, but working, professionally. Lawyers, doctors, blah blah. And they would stay over, no problem. It's not like other countries where there's like struggles and you have to like try to really try to get them. It's just natural, like United States, just like, hey, you're gonna stay over, whatever, or you want to come over, or can I stay over? Just whoever asks, or if it's just naturally you're having a good time. Next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. It is what it is. It's like that.
So they basically not. So if their culture is similar to ours, is that women in the United States, they're not under pressure to like thinking about being late for work, or because chicks in the U.S., they'll spend the night on a work week. It ain't like waiting for the weekend. But I know chicks in Brazil, Colombia. I know if you're in Copacabana and they live in the interior, they're less inclined to want to stay over the night and then go to work from your crib.
Not at all. Here, like a lot of times they have a car, so maybe like they have some drinks, and then they don't want to drive afterwards. They'll actually, hey, can I stay over? But I do realize that here a lot of times they will stay over, like 85% of the time. Like there's one girl, the one I'm gonna see later tonight. She hasn't stayed over yet. I don't think so, but I thought that was interesting because most of the time they do stay over. So I was like, all right, but I don't really care. Just sometimes I have like 2 or 3 more lined up, and then like you kind of have to kick them out, or maybe like you really like this one, you don't want to make her, I don't know, feel a certain type of way, so you just kind of have to lose the other 2 for the night, something like that. My favorite thing about them, one of my favorite things about them is that they have cars. They a lot of times they will go 50-50 on a date. This girl from last night, she paid for the date, and I was let me pay. She's like, nah, because you paid for the last one. I didn't even take that into account. And then the one I went out with last week, we got food at like 4 in the morning, and she bought her own food. I got home and I realized that I didn't have to like action, nothing. Like, it was just so natural. It was like United States, I thought about it the next day when I was like, just sitting down and just blank stare. But speaking about the diversity, not to get off topic, but I did smash a girl from Colombia here, from Medellin, a black chick last weekend, big fat ass, So yeah, there are some black girls, like about 2, 3 more I met this weekend, sexy. So that you won't have to worry about that. You'll be straight.
Wow, do they got a lot of Venezuela influx?
Oh yeah, 2 weeks ago, I was with this Venezuelan chick. Bad as fuck. Like, oh my goodness. Like I not a lot of women stand out to me, but yeah, this chick stood out. Like her eyes were like yellow and green and some shit, and her body was, oh my goodness. Like, man, I remember that chick.
It was a question in the chat. Southern Creole Flavor asks, which cities in Argentina has a, I guess, sizable black population?
So that where I did see the most, in my personal experience, would be pretty much. I mean, you'll see them throughout the day. Like sometimes I'll see like a black guy, like in Palermo, you're gonna see a good amount of tourists, right? But you're gonna see black people. You'll know where they're from. There's one black guy. He looked like me, muscular, and had on like a tank top and like a fitted reverse and like Jordans, and the headphones. And this guy's definitely American. And then another time I seen a black guy with like some white girls or whatever, obviously white girls here, and his chest stuck out, like feeling himself. Like I'm happy for the brother. but you'll know like the Americans, blah. But you'll see a lot of Americans in Palermo, and Porto Maduro where I live. But then if you go out to the other side, you're gonna see like Senegalese black people. So what I'm trying to say is that you're gonna see on a daily basis about maybe five, on a daily basis. So the thing is, it's not gonna be like Brazil or Colombia. It's never gonna be like that. I'm not gonna lie. But you will see us sporadically. So it's not a specific location. It's sporadic in Argentina. But if you want to go to like a really black part, like I mean, H Live made a video, and you're probably gonna be going like 6 hours in a plane, like 4 hours in a plane, not somewhere you probably want to live.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I personally wouldn't go to Argentina for black women. If I want to go to, if you want black women, go to high populated black countries.
Yeah, to state the obvious, just being respectful, like
Yeah.
not trying to sound like an ass, but like
So let's talk about cost, because so I'm gonna give you a 3-part question. You can kind of answer it together. So when I was looking into Argentina, put together a list. A lot of the countries, especially that Passport Bros travel to, are for the budget traveler.
that's
So
a great question.
so Argentina being, so you're describing Argentina as a country where there's middle class people, kind of maybe like Chile, but the United States has waived visa requirements for Chileans, so Chileans can go to the U.S. One, because their economy, and I guess two, because maybe their relationship. So I wonder if Argentina, well, one, is Argentina for the budget traveler. Two, would Argentinians, are they economically stable where their citizens should be able to come to the U.S. without them wanting to overstay their visa? And then two, I don't really have to get into the relations. I'll touch on it, but just in general for the audience, the U.S. and Argentina, they haven't been the tightest when it comes to foreign relations. But more so, I guess my question is more related to the economy and cost of living and cost of visiting as well.
Yeah, so it's a great question, and this will be very surprising. I'm surprised I found out some stuff myself, but I've been here almost going on a year essentially, so I know a good amount about Argentina. But the thing is, the the dollar or the peso, whatever the currency, believe it or not, what on CNN and we own, I watch news a lot. They actually said that the Argentina peso and all of South America, Latin America, was actually the most stable in the last quarter of 2022, which is fucking crazy to imagine, right? But then being here, I could see how it's true because they always say, "Oh, inflation, inflation," but I would convert my money. Like I usually take out $1,000 from Western Union. I'll explain how that works every time I go, and I'm realizing, man, like I'm not ever. I only seen one time where I actually, got like more than usual, like $250 more than usual. But it usually be the same. Like I get about $2,300, $2,300, $2,300, you know. And I'm like, wait, isn't this shit supposed to be like going down like the drain? Like this shit's not going fast enough, Like so the thing is, so when I came, I didn't, like I said, I didn't know there's black, white people. I just assumed, white people, whatever. I didn't know the peso, whatever they use. I was swiping my card. And then I was looking like in the expat group and they're like talking about like transfer yourself money and all that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is all this, man? So I didn't do it for like 2 weeks. And then the girl that one girl I went out with, she was like, so did you take out money? And I was like, nah, I just use my card. She was like, no, you gotta take out money, like blah blah. You're getting ripped off. Like it's not how it works here. And she was like, let me pay for this date because you're gonna fuck yourself over basically. She paid in pesos. So long story short, right? The way it works here is you pay like with your card, right? It's not like Colombia or Brazil, something like that, where you're gonna get like all right, regular price, or you're gonna be paying like 5 cents or 10 cents, whatever more, right?
Mhm.
Um, and just because we come here at that mindset, right? It's like $1 more. I don't know whatever you're gonna pay, right? So then I came here and the Uber's everything. I'm paying $5, maybe $10. I didn't even know. I'm just, whatever. So then um, I met another American. He's like, man, like you're still using your debit card. I'm like, yeah. So then he's like, bro, like how much you paying? He's like, I'm paying like $2, $3 for an Uber. And so the way it works is you go to Western Union, right? You send yourself $1,000, and
Mhm.
then you get $2,300 back. Right now, that's probably what you're gonna get, right? And it might be confusing and maybe it doesn't make sense, but literally, don't overthink it. All it is you send yourself money, right? If you send yourself $500, you're gonna get 53% more, right? And if you send yourself 1,000, 53% more of that is $2,300. So essentially, you're gonna have all in cash, right? And you probably want to get the mil peso. That's the biggest peso. That's about 15, 70 bucks, 13 bucks, whatever. I don't know, but it's
Mhm.
the most, right? And you you want to pay everything in cash if possible. Literally, it's possible. I'm sorry, it's possible. But if it's possible for you, if you don't forget the money at home or something, pay it all in cash, right? So if you buy something, let's say you buy, let me see what's a good example. Something, and the thing is 1,000 pesos, right? 15 bucks, whatever, right? You're essentially only going to be paying 47% of that because your money has doubled by 53%. So the Uber like would be, for example, usually it's about like let's say 300 to 700 pesos, right? That's about, I think 300 is like $1 or something like that. $3, I don't remember, but you're essentially gonna be paying a few cents, right? Because you're gonna be paying not 300, you're gonna be paying 47%. So what would that be like? 147 pesos or something like that in reality, because the money, you have to do the math. You don't have to do the math, but after a while you get used to it. You don't have to do the math, but you get the where I'm going with that.
Right,
That
right.
you know, so that's the way it works here. You transfer yourself whatever sum you want. I think the guy was saying you could live off for like 2,000 a month. 2,000 here would be 4,300. You don't. I don't think you want to even transfer that. Just transfer yourself like 1,000, and you'll be good.
To make a long story short, the dollar goes very far in Argentina.
Yeah, it does. I have a cook here. The cook, I paid a guy 8,500, 85,000 pesos a
Mhm.
month. That's about what, like I think. Let me see how much that is. I'll tell you. I have the app open, so you can see how much. I'll tell you how much I'm living here for now that I'm actually trying to see how much I'm spending. So that's 85,000 pesos. That's $474, right? Keep that in
Mhm.
mind. Just keep that number in mind. The dog walker, because where I live, right, it's so expensive here. Um, but where I live, it's also about that same amount of money, right? But if you live in Palermo, Hollywood, any other place, right, the dog walker would be like it's so hilarious, like $1.50 a day, like $3 a day, right? But
Mhm.
anyways, so the cook is 8,500. That's 474. But now what you're gonna do is you're gonna do it times 0.47. So I'm only paying him $222 a month to cook for me, and he goes out to the store with his car every
Mhm.
every Wednesday and Friday. He gets the ingredients, brings me back the receipt, and everything. Usually about like 3,000 pesos for 2 days for food. That's about 0.47. How much is that? That's about $7, $8 for 2 days worth of food every 2 days.
Mhm.
Um, so all in all, that's about what, $300, 275 for food and somebody cooking me my food. Um, and then the apartment you can get there for about $400 to $700. You want somewhere just decent, not decent. I'm sorry, in like a really really nice place. That's what the gringos pay here. I live in like the most expensive part of Latin America, so I pay about 1,100. But that's just what I'm used to. So it's whatever you're used to and whatever you want, right? So now I'm about what, about 1,000 uh, 400 of my dog in a month, so about 1,500 all in all, and you have taken out your chicks, whatever, if you want to do that, or just have them come over to your house, buying wine, everything's gonna be about 1,700 to about 2,000, right? And you're living pretty comfortably, you know. Um, so you're paying 53% less for everything.
So how is the weather? How is the weather this seasonal? Is it a consistent? How is the weather?
So
Yeah.
that's another good question. So essentially, the weather would be like, let's say, like, what's a state where the weather in the winter is like 40 degrees? That'd be like Georgia or something, right? I used to live in Georgia. I think now it's still like 40 degrees in the winter in Georgia.
Yeah, yeah,
So
maybe the Carolinas, Georgia. Mhm.
So like it'd be like that. Like they have literally that was one thing that caught me by surprise. I came here in my head. I'm just imagining Argentina sunny, because we don't know shit about Argentina in the United States. So then I came here and it was wintertime. So for them, right now it's summertime. Summertime is when I'm from New York, so wintertime in New York, it's right now, right? And summertime, it's summer here. So when it's winter in New York, it's summer here, and when it's summer here, it's when it's winter here, it's summer in New York. So it's just the opposite. And then when it's spring, it's fall, and when it's fall, it's spring. But right now it's summer, and it's about 80, let's say about 73 degrees to about 83 degrees every day. And it doesn't really rain much in a month. It might rain like 3 times a month for like 5 minutes, like the average Latin American country. They rain for like 5-10 minutes max. And then the sun will come out, whatever. And then in the spring, it'd be maybe like 70 somethings, and then the winter is gonna be about 50 something to 40 something. It's like Bogota, and then the fall would be like comical. It's gonna be like what, like 70, high 60, you know. So it's not like anything treacherous in terms of like the winter. It's laughable as an American.
Okay. Is there a beach? Are there beaches?
Yeah, so for all the holidays here, the most recent holidays, and for the World Cup, I was here. All that stuff. Everybody went to what's called Mar del Plata, MDP, and that's like their equivalent of like Rio de Janeiro. So you're gonna see on Instagram, all the chicks are gonna be like, posting, like thirst traps, like night and day. But the women here, they love thirst traps. Oh my goodness, that's just saying hit me up, and whatever happens from there happens from there.
If you got some photos, man, I don't know if you could share or any photos, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Thing
curious.
is, the laptop I'm on right now, I want to. I responded to every single person in the group, every single question, every single thing, as hard as I was, and I posted my ex there and her best friend, which were Afro Argentinians, so you guys can see like the Afro chicks here. But yeah, I definitely will. I'm just doing my dues here as a black man for the group, and I'm gonna be a man of my word in that. I'm gonna post the receipts.
Okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what is it? The woman here. I mean, like, man, like the bodies. I mean, it's gonna catch you by surprise because you're gonna come. Oh, it's all white women, right? All white people, and then you're gonna see like one, bam, two, bam, and you're gonna be like, damn, like, and they're natural because, here they makeup. Speaking of natural, they're not a big fan of makeup here. I don't know why, but but the bodies, it's gonna catch you by surprise, man. Like I remember I went out to a club one night with my ex, and I was like, she had a nice body, that's one of the reasons why I really like the chick. But I seen this one chick, oh my fucking goodness, like. But I'm gonna post a chick I've been fucking with as of late. And this gold with paper guy like seems to be like a troll, but I'll post it for the rest of the brothers, so you guys can see. Like, I'm gonna post it probably after this interview in the group or something.
Okay. For guys that's curious, so we're in a Facebook group. It's not my group, but it's a group I'm in. It's called Lifestyle Boys with a Z. You know what I mean? You will be vetted before getting in the group, but it's it's pretty thorough. A lot of receipts get shared. As far as how the Argentinas look, so I've traveled enough through Latin America where I could spot a Venezuelan, I could spot a Brazilian, I could spot even a Colombian. Does Argentina, do they have a certain look? Are they more? Do they look? Do they have any? Are they melanated or are they just kind of like pale white?
That you kind of one of those things where you can't really generalize. You kind of have to just come here to see how you feel about that. Because for example, my ex, she was Afro, and her best friend was more Afro.
Hmm.
So there is a variation here. There definitely is. Like the Venezuelan chick, I could spot her. To stay on topic, your question, I almost got off topic there. I could spot her, but you're asking if you could spot an Argentinian chick. In the United States, you probably can't, but here you probably could. But most of them are gonna, you're gonna be spotting more the exterior people because this is their country. We have to remember that. So you can spot other people, but they will be normal here. So you're not really spotting them. There's gonna be a majority of them are gonna look like Argentinians. So I don't know if that makes any sense. You see like a chick that's Colombian, you're gonna be able to see that their faces look different. Like I remember I went out with this Colombian chick, like one when I first got here, like one of the sexiest chicks. Oh my goodness, like a doctor. And I looked at her face. We're in the bar, and I'm like, damn, like this chick looks like different. All the other chicks here. I never in my life, because I've been with Colombians in New York and Colombia, and I thought of that. But then to take into perspective to your question, yeah, she stood out more. And now in Argentina, if a chick's Argentinian, but another exterior chick's gonna stand out to you more, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha. No, I was just trying to see if they had a unique look, like if there was Argentinas in
They
Brazil
do.
or Colombia, would you be able to,
They do. Like in Brazil when I was there, oh yeah, for sure. Like on the beach, before I came to Argentina, I was like, damn, these people all look together and they stick together. Like Argentina people are very, very prideful. And they stick together. Like that's one of their favorite destination places, Brazil. And yeah, they have like that blonde hair, or like they look like white girls from the United States. And the reason why I say that is because I'm from New York and I grew up, in places that are very Italian, right? So for me, I don't know, maybe that's why I gel with them so well, because I'm really used to like Italian people, you know what I mean? And how they are, and everyone talk about their types of racism or whatever. Not that I'm trying to harp on that. I know how to deal with it already. So and I'm very attracted to those types of women. So for me, in my opinion, the most attractive women in the world are a New York woman, New York City woman, and Argentina woman. But that's just because that's what I grew up around. You know what I mean? Um, but the thing is, I always tell them like, you guys look very like New Yorkish to me. So in terms of standing out, yeah, like if you know what a New York white woman looks like, European, Italian, Spanish, like maybe Turkish, they have that here as well, Arabian, then yeah, you're gonna say they stand out in the United States, but you can't say they stand out in Argentina because this is one of like the least diverse countries in the world in terms of like skin color.
Okay, makes sense. What was I gonna say? Uh, some people, are reluctant to visit Argentina due to their brutal history towards blacks. How would you
It's a great question.
just describe racism to black men that may be on the fence about visiting Argentina?
That's a great question. And also, I know you this will be a surprise question, but I thought I didn't feel you want me to answer about P for P. Later, I'll speak about that too.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
yeah, but so the thing is, in terms of racism here, um, I realized that from traveling, I started traveling at a young age, right? And at that time, you're very unconscious in the world. You wake up every day, and you don't think about things, right? So, but as you get older, we're conscious of this type of thing, and now that I'm conscious to it, and I've traveled all over, right? Like, for example, when I was living in Malta in Italy, right? I was dating this one chick from Malta when I was living in Malta, and, they speak Maltese there. So the chick, she dated a Black American. This was like so many years ago, before there was anything as passport, before even I think Instagram and YouTube. And she told me what this old couple said, something in Maltese about like the mixed couple, which was us, and we just kept walking. By the time I didn't remember it 5 minutes later. I was like, whatever. And then like as I became conscious a few years later, I looked up. Malta is actually one of the most racist places in the world, right? I didn't have anything like that yet in Argentina, which is supposed to be incredibly racist, right? But the thing is about them, when you look up as Argentina racist, and you'll see them say it's not because, oh, they just stare a lot, blah blah. But I realize that they do that wherever I'm at in Medellin. I got that a lot. I feel uncomfortable a lot of times. And then I have brothers who say, "Oh, go to like Medellin, blah blah, place for brothers, blah blah." There's this one chick, really attractive. Like she's in between. Like she could be black, she could be white. Chick in Medellin, Susie was her name, and she was telling me that she was out with this black guy, and when she went out with him, she didn't know why, but like there were so many like people staring at him, like white people, and yeah, so nobody could tell me that, oh, it's just Argentina. So that's what made me realize that, man, it don't matter if you're in Brazil, you're this, you're that. It doesn't matter, man. You can even go out with a black girl and you're gonna be stared at because the majority there, unless you go to like the black clubs or whatever, you're gonna be stared at like crazy. And to me, that could be racism, and it could not be racism. I don't know, but all I know is that if I focus on that too much, the girl's gonna pick up on that and sense that I'm not as confident because I'm not focused on her, and I'm not getting pussy that night, and I just wasted my time. So as a man, and the video I watched for AMS 2017 is just, hey, just don't pay attention to cock blockers, right? And that's what it is, just cock blockers to me. So as a man, I just don't make any excuses. If I want something and I want to go somewhere and I want it, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna get it. And that's the way I see it, But it gets frustrating as a black man, and no matter where you are in the world, sometimes that's my answer to that. But in terms of racism, like if you go out to the store or something like that, and things that don't have to do with women, and you want to buy something, you'll be straight. Like I speak Spanish, and I don't know. There's a white lady in the Buenos Aires expat group saying that people were treating her bad because she didn't. I'm guessing she speaks Spanish. That's where her assumption was. And I'm like, wait, when I go out, I get treated pretty fucking good, Like I did my teeth here again, and the guy's invited me to his home, my dentist, like for weeks. And I'm like, I don't know, man. And invited me to go different places. Last week, I was at the dog park, and there was this older guy, like 41 years old, was like, hey, man, come to my house. And he made me dinner. I'm sorry, lunch. And I like, this was within 5 minutes. He's like, yeah, this is my pool, blah. We can go to it. Let's go to. He's going to New York next month for his best friend. His friend is a lawyer. He bought the ticket for him and his friends. So they do have money here. They're going to like Soho, which is like the most expensive part, one of the most expensive parts of New York. And yeah, they invited me over. I'm like, what the fuck? This didn't happen to me in Brazil or Colombia, by the way. Cooked for me everything and took my plate, everything. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And yeah, so that's my experience. But of course, I do have moments where it's more so cock blocking. That's more so. That's more so the only racism I could say. But like from like the women, nah, because you know how women are. They're to be conquered. They're not as rational as men. So the men, they see it. Oh, here comes not the black men. They know because they don't usually ask me from Brazil. A lot of times I'll see on YouTube brothers will say it out, or people here would say they assume I don't know why they just assume I'm from the United States. And I'd be respectful because I understand your country's poor. You don't feel as much as a man as me. I don't know. Not my fault, not my problem. But I'd be respectful as possible. But you can only ignore it. But the most racism, I'd say, if I want to consider as racism, is the cock blocking. you can't control that. But that happens in Brazil as well. It happened to me, you know. So
With that, real quick, have you made friends with Brazilian, like the Brazilian guys there?
Brazilian guys in Argentina.
I'm sorry, Argentina guys, not Brazilian
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. So my one friend, he lives in my building here, and we're going out tonight. Uh, he also helps me get some weed. I smoke a little bit now, but yeah, I mean a lot. Like I'm very low key. I'm surprised I'm even doing this interview, but the thing is, I another guy wants me to play basketball with him. Two like three people here want to play basketball with me. They've been asking me for a while. So I mean, yeah, a lot of people in the gym, all over the place. And then another brother just got here today, so we're gonna go out and play basketball. He's a brother from the United States. We're gonna go out and play basketball with my Argentinian friends, and he has some friends already. He was asking me if I knew them that he balls with. So you got to come. There's like a whole lot of life here. Black men are coming here. I see, like dorky looking black men here, great looking black men here. And yeah, I mean, they'll be mixed with like the white guys, whatever. You have no option to make friends with them, and they'll be trying to make friends with you, they're very open, but the one thing I will say you're going to encounter, maybe just me, maybe I'm just a bitch in this aspect and I pay too much attention to it because everybody's different, right? But I feel like, depending where you are, the poorer places, you get a lot more cock blocking from the men because they're poor. That's one thing. That's my assumption. But the richer places, like it's just whatever. Like nobody gives a fuck. A lot of people they travel and they got lots of money, man. Like remember, it's Puerto Madero, the richest place in Latin America, the richest place. Like they got money. Like they pay in dollars and they get paid in dollars. And from like a business and an economic standpoint, I can tell you, man, I'm seeing some shit happen in Latin America where we're talking about we got dollars, we got American jobs, man. They're taking these jobs and these dollars, it's happening a lot. Like I'm telling you, so we're not going to be as special as we think we are in about 10 to 15 years. Believe me, believe me. That's why I'm saying you can't come here, you can't flex your dollars to the place I'm in this little place I'm at because it won't work because a lot of them are getting paid in dollars. And if you ask them, hey, you want to go to the United States? They say, no, I want to go to Italy or Spain or something like that. They prefer like, I'm just keeping it real. So you're going to have to come and be normal, not thirsty, and just compete, right? And that's what it is.
Man, that's interesting, man. Interesting that you said that. I was going to ask you.
It's not like Brazil or Colombia where they're still getting paid in pesos. Here, like they're the most educated. That's why we come here to study, and they're the richest city. They have the richest city more than even Barra de Tijuca. I used to live there. I was surprised. I thought it was Barra de Tijuca, but it's actually Puerto Madero. And yeah, man, like they get paid in dollars. Like this girl, I was like, she was like, yeah, my ex, he gets paid in dollars. Like it was like no big deal. She was like nothing. He's a web developer. So that's the thing that's gonna. I'm guessing that it's gonna trickle down. I'm seeing it happen in Bogota a lot. I met a lot of men there, and they're getting paid in dollars and all that type of stuff. And
these guys paying these chicas in dollars. So
they know what's up. They're just about 10, 15 years, bro. You guys gonna have to come more with that. I'm American, or I got dollars. Believe me, Argentina, they'll wake you up to that real quick. Like what? Like I don't give a fuck. We're the best country in the world. We got dollars. Like you're nothing special. You're America. You're going down. So yeah.
They just won the World Cup, so I know they flexing.
Yep. Oh yeah, they flexing hard. 5 million people. Oh my goodness. Oof. Like yeah.
Man, I like the camaraderie, man, because I like to play basketball too, man. Like I've never played basketball outside the U.S., man.
Argentina actually beat us in the last Olympics. And actually, I looked at the rating because I'm like, yo, these people are cocky as fuck. Argentinians, they think I've never met anybody as American as us, man. Like they believe like they are like the best in the world, and you can't tell them shit. Like so, the thing is, yeah, yo hablo español, little people. The thing is, man, they actually they in all the sports like rugby, I think they're number one. Soccer right now, I mean, they say France is number one, Argentina is second, but hey, let's keep it real. Like they just
Yes,
won.
he can speak Spanish. He can speak 5 languages. Just to answer his question.
Essentially, they're number one in soccer, but believe it or not, in basketball, they actually third, bro.
Hmm.
And I think actually they're second. No, we're second now. We dropped like I think 2 weeks ago or something like that, and Argentina's third. So that they have more reason to be cocky. So I play basketball. I'm American. I got dollars, bro. Like these people, man. And their currency or whatever. And you're saying something about this before I wanted to talk about it, but um, they actually. I don't believe they're going to be poor for as long as they believe they're going to be poor. They actually used to be like, I think the number one country in the world, and at the time they were like top three when they were number one. So they do have a lot going for them. It's just their election happens in October, and that shit changes, bro. Don't come here if you don't have much going for yourself more than I got dollars, because it ain't gonna work. Like I'm telling you, if their economy goes up, believe it, like that American shit won't fly. Like that's your only like lifeline. So yeah, that's a little bit about their economy. But I don't give it much more time until it starts to change. Their peso and all Latin America is like about them killing black people. I'm gonna talk about that. So their peso has been the most stable. If you look it up, and I think the last quarter has been the strongest, which sounds crazy because the inflation or whatever. But the thing is, what happens here is that 70% of the population gets paid for by 30% of the rich population. So that's their problem here in Argentina. And that's why they're essentially poor, because the government gives things to free people, which is 70%. That's a poor people free for free, 70%, and the rich pay for it instead of them looking for better work and blah blah and increasing the GDP. The government is just a mess in that aspect. But in terms of them killing black people, whatever, Brazil did, the United States did, Argentina did. I'm not making an excuse for anybody because I don't. That part didn't sit well with me when I found out. I came here on a whim. I didn't know shit. I didn't even know what they spent. That they had inflation. I didn't know. But that uh, I I don't know, because they say like the older people, the younger generation say like older people that they're like the racist ones, whatever. I don't know, but today I was in the elevator with the older lady, and she was like trying to talk to me and like nice as fucking shit. But it depends person to person, just like the rest of the world, right? You can go to Africa, and a Chinese person might treat you like shit, and it might treat you well. Or a white person, they might treat you like shit.
I don't want. Hold on. I don't want anybody that love Brazil, and this is the thing I noticed with some guys. You know what I mean? I'm just generally speaking. I noticed with some guys when it comes to checking out other countries, they find reasons to not visit another country because they are really afraid if they visit this new country, they're gonna like it, and so now they got to split their time between their favorite country and another country. So Brazil has an ugly history when it comes towards from slavery to post-slavery to the whitening of their population, to mixing most dark-skinned people out of existence in Brazil.
Yeah, I don't know if you found this guy on YouTube. I found him accidentally last week, and he makes black in Brazil or some shit like that. I'll send it to you guys in the chat. But he talks about this stuff, and he's been going to Brazil longer than any of us, like for 20 years, And I've been following this guy, and he's talking about the problem Brazil has with racism, bro. It is worse than the United States. If you're actually Brazilian, not American, but I'll pass it to you guys in here and also the group, and you guys, could go from there, But all I'm saying is that everywhere, right, in the world, as a black person, like we're not that advanced yet in terms of like, for example, we don't need the white man in the United States. Most of our jobs are white bosses. In Brazil, most of the black people jobs are white bosses. In Africa, it's European bosses. So as a black people, we can't avoid them as of now because we're not, as a collective, we're not there yet to where we can't avoid them. So what can you do? Just, hey, let it be, and just one day things will change, right? So the thing is, I don't know. If you'd allow me, I'll share while we're on this live that channel so these people could maybe realize that Brazil ain't special when it comes to racism. There's racism there. Don't lead people, or what's that? Don't sell a dream. That's one thing I didn't like. That's why I don't call myself a lifestyle or a passport this, because I feel like no you seem, I feel like your channel, I realize, very professional, blah blah, but some people sell dreams and about Medellin and all this. And like my ex in New York, before I broke up with her and I left and I went to Lorelis, where she's from, she was telling me, Papi, like, my country, the women there, they love money, a lot of gringos there, blah blah, they use them and all this type of shit. She would tell me for like weeks, and I'm like, this girl just doesn't want me to go there. And I went and I seen it and I got firsthand experience that, she was not only telling the truth, but the passport bros were selling dreams, bro. And since then, I just, but anyways, so the thing about the P for P or whatever, the P for P is that I didn't know that they had P for P here, right? I came and I remember one day, a girl, she told me, she's like, why you Argentina? What do you like about it? I was like, well, I mean, there's no like P for P, all that type of shit. Like Brazil and Colombia has that a lot of like, tourists go to for and blah, blah. And there's not that many like, American men are known for, being like the most sexually touristic. So there wasn't that much of that demographic here. And this was the pilot chick I was talking about. And she was like, nah, we have prostitution here. And I was like, really? I never knew that. I never, and then another girl told me, when I told her the same thing. And I went home one day and I looked it up, and they do have it, but it's not like how it is like in other countries. It's like, I don't know, maybe like it's like United States, maybe like 1% of the population uses that shit. And also, I think some men do know that there's P for P here. I think some like American tourists do know. I think they don't come here because they know how much it costs. It's like $250 for like an hour, So it's not like, like $50, $80, $25 in like Brazil and Colombia. Like here, bro, like it is like
but you can meet regular girls though, so you don't even need that.
Yeah, I'm just saying for the brothers who do like do P for P, there's like 3 websites you can use. I don't have them in my head because I don't.
We won't mention the website.
But I won't mention them. But there's one that you can get it for cheap. I think like you can get it for like there's like with love $35, but it's gonna be like cheap, 50 to 85. So if you do want to come here and maybe it's not working for you, like the regular chicks, and you schedule a return flight, you didn't do it one way, and you have to wait, and you want to get your rocks off, in the group chat or whatever, you could hit me up and I'll send them to you, the websites. But like I was saying, and Rob was just saying, you don't really, it's not that type of country for that. It's like United States. It's like a back page. It's like, who does that shit, And that's one of the reasons why I like it here. I can live a very normal life, and decide when I have some time, I can get my rocks off normally, and I never had girlfriends in all my life because I just don't subscribe to that shit. I had girlfriends, sexually, but like fuck buddies. For me, that's the equivalent of like a friend. Like we just fuck and see you later. But I never had a girl that I go out with and hang out with and shit like that. But here, yeah, because it just happened naturally. I was realizing I was having girls that were I was friends with, because they don't ask you for shit, and it's not like United States where you got to worry about them trying to have like a baby with you or some shit, trying to get something out of you. Not even speaking about like Colombia and Brazil, them drugging you or some shit. Like United States, like, I had to worry about chicks trying to put me in child support because I made like 6 figures and all that type of shit, right? And women would come over, see where I lived and my car and all that type of stuff, and I just never feel comfortable. So that's one of the reasons why I left the United States, actually. But here, I don't have to worry about the prostitution and the scopolamines and all that type of shit. And then I also don't have to worry about if a mistake happens. Argentina is not a part of the 13 countries or whatever.
Exactly.
The treaty,
Right. See, I'll tell you guys, man. I looked that information up for a reason, man. Argentina not part of that treaty. That treaty, shit. The Hague Convention. Uh,
But but,
so
but another thing too. Speaking about this, I don't know if it helps at all anybody, but the single mothers, they do work. I realize they have a culture here. Like I said, very European. No fighting in the streets. Very reserved. They like to believe that they're European, which, hey, let's be real, they are, right? Because their grandparents from Argentina and Spain, they just happen to be located in Latin America, right? Let's not deny them that fact, right? So the thing is, I would ask them, like, man, like, I see single mothers here. They don't really have problems with like their baby daddies here. So the culture here, they try to work it out before going to court. Because if I ever decided to have a kid, I prefer first to try my options, like I'm doing now, in a country where um, there's no treaty, right, between that country and the United States. But they like to work it out here first before they do things through court. And I won't make that a long story, but you know where I'm going with that. So they don't want to expend money, and they want to make things amicable for the kid, and the whole 9 yards.
okay. So basically women don't require you to spend a lot of money for their time opposed to like in the US.
Nah, so here you could just go like wherever. Like, I think I've had 2 or 3 times where a chick said like, "Hey, let's go." I didn't like this place. She's from like a richer place or something like that. Let's go here. Normally I just don't respond. I just chow chow, But there's one chick. I was like, you know what? Let's just come over to my place and just have some wine instead. And then she was like, yeah, sure. But actually, what made me start doing the whole thing, just I usually just say, hey, I'm free tonight. That's the same message. I copy and paste it. I have some wine. Let's have some wine in my place. See how things go. And if they go well, blah, blah. And if not, then, let's leave things how they are and you go home. And then I realized that, man, like 50%, sometimes even 85%, I don't know, depends on the day, whatever. They'll say, hey, yeah, sure. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, no questions asked. So now I was like, yo, why am I even going out? Like, with these chicks, like, there's no point. So, yeah, in terms of spending, yeah, that's a spending. Maybe get a wine bottle. It's like 400 pesos. How much is that?
No, that ain't shit.
400 pesos after conversion. That's what, like $3?
Oh, that ain't
Like
that ain't
Malbec wine. It's called Malbec, and you'll be straight. But Argentina is famous for wine, as you know, and the steak. So,
Yeah. I was gonna ask you about the food. How is Argentina cuisine in your opinion?
so Argentina cuisine, they're famous for their steak. They call it asado. It's like different from like asado in Colombia, and churrasco in Brazil. It's humongous. Like you're gonna like get like food. Like usually in Colombia, I order like 3 things because the food would be so small,
Right.
and Brazil would be like average size. So then I came here and I'm like, I'm fucking hungry as hell. Like at my flight, and I didn't like know that like the air conditioners here, they work as heaters as well. It was in winter, so that's another thing. The air conditioners here, they in all the apartments, they work as heaters as well. So I didn't, I got here late and I didn't have time to go like get a converter and a heater, and so I bought a heater which I didn't need to. So, anyways, I ordered some food and I ordered 3 things, and man, like the fucking meat was humongous, bro, and I had to share it with my dog because I couldn't finish that shit. Yo, like the food here is gonna be humongous, and it's cheap. It's cheap. You're gonna eat like some world class steak. Argentina is known for their steak. It's called asado here once again, but we're Americans, so we say steak. and that shit's gonna be huge, bro. Like, but you got to test out the steak if you're here. You cannot not test out the steak if not. But yeah, you can go to Mendoza. That's world renowned for the wine, but you don't even have to because it's Argentina, so they ship it here. Cordoba is known for their beer globally. They have Cumas, which is from Cordoba, and everything here you're gonna be getting something with meat and like they call it guarnation in Spanish.
Mhm.
Just like a side. Usually it's papas fritas, French fries, or like this type of sauce or something, or salad. Um, they like ice cream as well, helado. They like the sweets. They like alfajores, which is like this little snack that they have. Oh, so they have breakfast, desayuno, almuerzo, and then lunch they have merienda, which is like in Argentina. It's actually a real thing. It's not just like a kind of we do it thing. So uh, it's like it's like their third meal, and then they have dinner around like 11 o'clock. And then yeah, that's how it works here. And they have like barrio humildes, where you can go and you can get food real cheap. My ex took me there once, and yeah, the food is like $3, something like that, real cheap, and it's like, you know, it's called a like basically barrio of humility, all right. And then what else? I could tell you so much about Argentina. There's something Charles Jones he was saying. He seems knowledgeable, saying that now there's P for P down there. Brothels are legal. Yeah, so they work in clubs. I don't really see that here. I don't know. Maybe you have to go to certain places. Like I said, I've been living here for almost a year. Actually integrating in the culture. Know what they speak. They don't speak Spanish here. They speak Castellano, which is just Spanish, but it's like different words and more Italian. So I know a lot, and not saying you don't, I'm just, just saying from like an everyday experience here. And there's something important I was going to say. Yeah, so there's this thing here they call telos, telos, right? Telos are pretty much where you go to have sex. And that's just a part of the culture here. Like I said, it's very sexual culture. So telos, you pay, the telo might be like, I think what it'd be like $5 to $30, something like that. It's like a sex house, but people go there just to have sex, and they have lights in your room. Your room would be like with like red or blue lights, something like that. It's like pretty much where you go to like the brothels in Colombia, but
Mhm.
this is like where you go just to have sex with your companion. So you can go there and then you can have breakfast the next morning, but I wouldn't do that. Fuck that shit. Many Argentinians say that they don't eat that shit because that's fucking weird. So then you go there after like the club, and you might be walking down the street and you just enter a telo like it's nothing because that's part of the culture here. And how I found out about that in my room, I travel with like my lights, for like when I'm about to do my thing with the lady, turn in like dark sexy red lighting, and she was like this shit looks like a tello. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like a telephone? And she's like, no, like a tello, where we go to have sex in Argentina. Like if you want to spice it up or change things, or you live with your parents, or you want,
I love hotel. I love motels.
yeah, you want to cheat, shit like that. They cheat a lot here. I'm not gonna lie, but women cheat a lot, man. I tell them like I've never seen women so unfaithful in my life, bro. Like this shit is crazy. Like, and yeah, like just go to Tello, like it's like that. So you can see what I'm saying, like the how sexualized their culture is here. And on Instagram, man, like your Instagram may not be sexualized now, but you're gonna come and you think, like one thing Medellin women are sexualized. They're trying to sell themselves. They're trying to sell something. Here they're sexualized just because they want to be, and the men don't judge here. Just whatever, like fuck it, whatever. It could be a rich neighborhood, and you'll see on the Instagram like they're dressed sexy as hell, like women in Manhattan, like they look like they got money, and just hit them up, and they're not
so
gonna be asking you for like poppy for like $1. Just I want to fuck. That's it.
so with that culture, because you know, is it ideal for a man to look for a wife, or just to
So the thing is, you hear them. before I came to Argentina, when I was search Argentina in the groups, if you search Argentina right now, I bet you guys are gonna see the same thing because we're searching the same group. That you go to Colombia, blah blah. You don't go there for find a wife to find a wife. You go to Brazil, same thing. You try to find a wife for real, ha ha ha. You see everybody clowning the guy, and all that type of shit. And then you see like every once in a while, and every once in a blue moon, you go to Argentina to find a wife. And that's what I'm assuming that's where you got that rhetoric from as well. But you got to come here to see it and believe it yourself, because the world has changed. And like I said, I've lived in countries. I don't just travel. I live in these countries, and I have a dog, so I like to be more planted for him as well. But the world's changed, and women it is what it is. Like there's no more of this macho all this bullshit that the people put on YouTube, because there's the YouTube channel that I'm telling you about, like opened my eyes like to the truth. I wasn't just going crazy that like in Brazil as well. I know this is Argentina, but in Brazil as well, like there's feminism and all that shit. I think he said that Brazil is actually the second most feminist country in the world. And
I agree. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying
that. I'm gonna send you that channel, bro. I'm gonna send you this exact video.
Put it in a private chat.
And I've been watching this guy's shit like nonstop for the past 2 weeks, and he's talking about like the changes he's seen in 20 years, and that in the United States and just like I'm gonna send it to you, you'll see. But in Argentina, the one thing I will say, and I'm gonna get back on topic now to your question, is that I was reading somewhere, I think Uruguay was like the first feminist country in the world or some shit like that, and Argentina became like the most heavily feminist country in the world. But from my experience, man, I tell the women, to this day, I've not had a fuck you type of conversation. I'm not saying that's what makes a woman feminist, or like a woman telling me I'm not gonna cook for you or some shit like that. I don't even act. I don't even give a fuck. I'm just, living my life. But the thing is, I just never had like a woman try to walk in front of me here. And even if I sometimes like if I'm throwing off my balance, if like guys are cock blocking or shit, or I'm as a man, right, you fall off balance sometimes, right? Let's just be real, right? And yeah, like they don't try to, in my experience, like it's different for everybody, right? And for every country you go to, I've not had an experience where women try to, like, I'm in Colombia. I did like some bravo woman from Valledupar, I'm sorry, from where is it? That place is like that's like Medellin in Colombia. It's like mini Medellin.
Oh, Pereira or Bucaramanga?
Bucaramanga, yeah. Yeah, like some bravo woman there, bro. Like, but yeah, Choripan is big here. But the thing is, and here I have not experienced that. But once you land one, but that's what I'm saying. Like, from my experience, maybe I don't know. Just like I said, I'm used to Italian women. See, he said similar to European women here. Like I said, I like New York, Manhattan women. They're European. I like that type of feminism, very sexy. I treat you how you look. And maybe it's intimidating for some men, and they treat them like hey, like a god or some shit. And then it's new, and then you can't use your money. You're stuck. And for me, it comes out. It feels natural, like I don't have to try to be anything that I'm not. I know how they are. They feel comfortable around me. And when if a woman's comfortable, that's always my number one priority. If they're comfortable, you're going to get the best behavior out of them. We all know that, right? So, but yeah, I feel comfortable around them, and they feel comfortable around me. So it flows. So Argentina works for me. Like Bob is saying, every country is different. So it's not just about looks. It's just if you're comfortable, you're going to perform well. If you're not comfortable, you're not.
I will say, chicks that's feminist, they are fucking. They
are. They know so. Every chick's fucking. And here you're gonna see that chicks with husbands and boyfriends for 14 years are fucking too. Yeah.
Oh man, so
a lot of fucking going on here. I got 2 tonight, bro. So
guys looking for submissive wives, man. I said this yesterday because I don't know if you know, but my wife is Colombian. The Latinas, they not as submissive they have home, I guess, home training. They know how to take care of the home. They're not submissive. One, because a lot of them feel like they don't need to be submissive because they were raised. They know how to respect men on their own. They don't need a man to show them how to respect them. They know how to do it on their own. But if you want, I know some guys, they want subservient women, and a lot of them go over to certain parts of Africa and Asia for those type of women.
Yeah,
like
but sorry.
like go ahead.
But Charles Jones, I see like in the chat, you seem to be most knowledgeable in terms of Argentina because a lot of stuff you're saying from my almost 1 year here has been hitting. But like, so I see another guy saying they love sex, but it was great for a minute. But I'm here now. You guys speaking about the past, is and then the guy saying that hitting shit one work with these Italian women, these Argentina women, essentially. But I'm here now and I'm doing it. I it's a difference between before and now. If you're saying it was good then and it's not good anymore, so you guys essentially saying that I don't know. Like I'm telling you that this is my reality here, but this is what's happening right now in 2023. It's January 7th. You guys tell them somebody who's physically here, but that's the thing. Like you were saying, Bob, that no matter how many times they hear Argentina this, Argentina that, they're just going to keep saying, "Oh, this club closed down," or it used to be. But I don't try to convince anybody to do anything. Like my dog, the woman, you want to go. You want to stay. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you spot on. You're there now. You know what I mean? I'm not interviewing somebody that been to Argentina before. You're there now. So like you said, some things have changed because you got to remember a lot of guys probably haven't hit Argentina since the pandemic. So a lot of countries' dynamics have changed since then. And like you said, it depends on what you're going down there for.
But the thing is, not to get too much in the chat, I'm just I like to give everybody a good Argentina podcast, for you, Rob. But this guy says, don't throw it in our face. We know you're getting it. Some days, I don't hit, and I'm human, and I think, well, what the fuck, man, And then some days it's just like an overflow, but that's every country. That's a human being, and then some people might make you change your opinion today, and then tomorrow, or you think, oh, the women are going, and then you think, oh, it's not a racist country, and then someday you think it's a racist country, and then all the women aren't going. You just gotta, as you become more of a man every year, you just gotta just know how to be solid and not get too high and too low, and you're gonna enjoy the most, and you're gonna be able to go to Argentina, you're gonna be able to go to Malta, and you're gonna be able to go to other places than Medellin and Colombia. And then speaking about like, are they wife material? Actually, there was a brother, I don't remember his name right now. His name is Joshua or whatever from the group, and he was one of the George Washington's George Washington's the colonizers of Argentina as a black man from actually from the United Kingdom, and this guy, he's actually engaged to this Argentinian girl here, and he's black and she's white, and yeah, man, this guy was just coming here and and doing his thing in Argentina, and telling people to come, and nobody came, and I seen his thing on Facebook, and and that's actually how I looked up Argentina and realized it was so close to Brazil. So there's brothers here doing their thing, and I actually kind of like that. Brothers aren't coming. I was like, should I even do this? But the thing is, it's great because, man, when I walk into a club or something, and like, I come in there and the chicks are looking at me like Usher or some shit, like I'm a celebrity or some shit, and everybody stops and just stares, and the woman's so happy to show you off and shit. Then hey, don't come. The more the merrier for me, and I actually would like it because I feel like a lot of guys will come here and ruin the reputation and bring the same reputation over, like the pay for play, and when I speak to women from Colombia and Brazil, they say European men and American men are the worst, but American men, they say that they're the most simpish, and they like to flash the money the most. So I know you guys will come here and fuck it up, But hey, I like my brothers to come here and win as well. So, it is what it is. And if you don't want to, hey, that's up to you. So,
Okay. 5 more minutes, man. I got questions for you. I know you got some dates lined up. Um, I'll give you everything I kind of had left on my list, and you could just kind of answer them. You know, you can kind of summarize everything. So the things I wanted to ask you were other major cities besides Buenos Aires. I was gonna ask about the cost of flight. You know, flying to Argentina. Um, if you know any touch on safety, suggested dating apps, and if you know anything about buying property, because that's something that's important for this channel.
yeah, I'll touch on all that. And I'll make it quick since it's only a few minutes.
I
So
see you,
basically,
Buck Travels. Go ahead.
so yeah, and intriguing about having them lined up. Come to think of it, I got another one tomorrow that we just talked for a few minutes, and she coming straight over to the crib. So that's just how it is in Argentina. But anyways, I get back on topic. In terms of safety, the other black brother who just got here today, he just touched down today. We're gonna be playing some ball. He said, yeah, everything I said is just the same thing, and we never spoke before. It's like a secret place, and like brothers don't want to come to for whatever reasons, and that he felt super safe here as well. It's different. It's just like you're being in Europe, but in Latin America. And it's literally, they act like it, the country feels like it. And I don't mean to sound fucked up, but they are a little bit more civilized in that sense. And not saying people in Colombia and Brazil aren't, but they are more civilized. And it's more structured, and it just feels more like you're in the United States. Like people here have things, that you won't even have. You know what I mean? And it's incredibly safe. Incredibly safe. I've never had to worry about my safety. In general, I've never had a problem in all the 18 countries I've been to. So I won't say I move smart or whatever. It's just luck. A woman could do whatever sometime, but I don't have to worry about scoping me or whatever here, and all that type of shit. Flights. Um, I actually was looking up flights today to go to New York to see my family again, stay there for a few weeks. So all in all, everything's gonna be about $1,000 for like one stop or nonstop. It's the last end of America, and at the most southern part of America, so it's a little bit further. But I think the flight is about 8 to 10 hours, some shit like that. Depending where you are. I'm in New York. Miami probably be like 8 6 hours, something like that. So yeah, it's about the same as Brazil, in terms of pricing and time.
Okay, dating apps.
Oh, dating apps. So yeah, basically, Tinder here hits like crazy. I mean, if you do the best, maybe I'll give out the secret. Like, so the best thing, if you go to the parks, the woman will come up to you if you have a dog or whatever, and then if you want to use the apps, you can use the apps, and you could just hop on Tinder, and try Cordoba. The woman, I mean, man. Uh, yeah, you're gonna see, in my opinion, I think the most attractive woman in all of Latin America and possibly the world. Um, Buenos Aires as well, and yeah, like you just hop on Tinder, you'll be straight. You get Tinder Premium, switch your location, maybe buy a boost, do like a 2 hour boost, and then you'll probably have like 100 matches plus within that 2 hours, and you'll yeah, at least 10 to 15 will be ready to go, within that week or within 2 to 3 days, and then maybe a few will be ready to go that same night. And if not, usually they'll say I can't tonight, but tomorrow or this day or whatever. And yeah,
They got big booties out there.
yeah, I'm gonna put that in the group. You guys gonna see, like, I'm not talking about like just big booty, because in other countries I feel like they have guts and stuff. It's Europe, it's a kind of European country, so they gotta stay fit for like their white men, because they say like the white man here don't like. That's what the Argentine woman told me. They don't like thick women like that. So yeah, one of the first girls I smashed was like thick, and yeah, basically, she would wear like longer clothes all over the place because she said that the white men here don't like that type of body that much. And I'm like, damn, if you're in the United States, like the man would be all over you. You know what I'm saying? But in the gym, you're gonna see like some big booties, but they won't be like the Medellin big booties. They'll be like what the Medellin woman look like, but without surgery. So you guys gotta come here to see it. But like in terms of like the best buddy I've seen to this date that I've been with to this date has been an Argentinian woman, like crazy curves and crazy ass and crazy like upper body to lower body proportion. But it's like what the passport bros always talk about in all these other countries. And yeah, like I'm still fucking with this girl to today. She wants relationship type shit. But the thing is, in other countries, like the men they're attracted to that, and they're gonna be all over her. And as a foreigner, she's probably gonna be fucking somebody on the side. You know, it's just she's not the type of girl you want to settle down with. But here, you can get that. If you want a relationship with a girl, you can get it. If you want to just fuck her, you can get it. She'll leave you alone. Like the other brother that just got here today, he says he likes that the women here they leave you alone.
Yeah.
You'll be straight.
I know a couple homies like that. They don't want to be, they don't want to be texting them every day, every second. They want to just, I'll talk to you every few days.
Oh, you won't get that. Hey, this is my mom in the hospital bed. You're never gonna get that in Argentina. Never. Like that won't happen. And like a rocket would have to, what is it, a cosmorite or a meteorite will hit the earth before some shit like that happens here. Like my mom in the hospital. This is her. Here's the photo. Send me $50.
All right. Buying property. Have you researched that or?
Yeah. So that pretty much I looked at that and the property you can get for depending where you want to live, like let's say $40,000 and maybe like Palermo. It's like the other richer parts. The most touristy place, Palermo Soho. You're gonna see a bunch of people from all over the world, like all over the world, sexy women, right? And $40,000 in maybe a normal place, maybe 20 to 40,000. Palermo will be 40 to 80,000. Where I'm at currently, it's about like 800,000. 320,000 be cheap. Some few $1 million. So it depends where you're looking for. So the ranges, but let's say 20 to more than $1 million. Remember, Puerto Madero is like the richest part of Latin America. So, and what do you need? What do you need? Yeah, you just buy it. They want it in dollars, obviously, because the peso situation they have currently. And yeah, so you're gonna buy in dollars. You transfer. You don't have any problems. It's more lenient than other countries if you're an American for buying property. And speaking about the Paraguayans that he spoke about, yeah, the Paraguayans here, I can't say if anybody does love black men, is the Paraguayan woman. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
They curvy too. I've seen some
Paraguayans
and they curvy.
Oh yeah. I got with one and she was telling me like she loved, black men, blah, blah, this and that. She never dated one, but a lot of times in Argentina, we're going to get, I'll leave this for the end here. People that really want to fuck with Argentina, you're going to hear a lot that I want to fuck with a black man. And after that, just let them talk. Don't mess it up, and you're in there.
I see you, Buck Travels. So 2 more questions, man, and then whenever you got to bounce, you could jet. Views in general, their views towards Americans. I'm more concerned about the women, not the men. And then other major cities outside of Buenos Aires, guys can visit.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking of heading down to. You can go to Antarctica. Ace Live is there right now. It's a part of essentially, I think it's a part of Argentina. Bariloche, they have snow there and things like that. And those the women there, they say they're more reserved. That's one of the first women I got with here actually. I was like from Mendoza. Cordoba, one of the first guys that a black brother I watched was actually in Cordoba, and he says that they love like the black men there. Like, not that they don't in every part of Argentina, but because there it's not it's not like the New York, Buenos Aires is like the New York of Argentina. So they're probably gonna see more of us. But in Cordoba, for example, my Tinder, I just put it there. I have a few phones and I put one there, and they have like what is it like the hottest woman when when you go to your Tinder and then they have like that gold diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna match with like a lot of them a day, like every day in Cordoba, right? So yeah, like you can just filter. You don't have to swipe through like the ugly woman, right? Not, I think there's not too many ugly women in Argentina, but yeah, you're gonna be getting golds, So yeah, but the view as for Americans from like the opposite sex standpoint, um, I don't see how, like, I don't feel special, like like if we're talking about um like a trait or like
Are they anti? Have their government made their citizens more anti-American, or they're just kind of, or they're
nah,
neutral?
nah, because naturally they're by blood, by sangre, they're Italian, and then if not, then Spanish. So they're more interested in uh traveling to those places. But they do like New York, some Californians, but there are a lot of Californian women here. Speaking about that, and a lot of black women from Detroit are here. Oh yeah, like I fuck a lot of black women from Detroit and Argentina for whatever reason. But in terms of like them being anti-American, they're just very pro Argentina. Even though they're Italians, this and that, they have their passports, they can go live there. Their economy, blah blah. They just love their country, right?
Well,
So,
you
sorry.
you mentioned a lot of expats. What is attracting American, especially black people, to live in Argentina?
The thing is I think it's just well, like black people. I can see. Uh, I don't know. Like I think the men, right? I can't speak for the women because the women, I'll be surprised. Like I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? Especially from Detroit. A lot of Californians in Detroit, right? But the thing is, um, the black men, like the guy that I'm gonna meet up with, he got here today. They always say like they try to get away from the prostitution from Brazil and Colombia, and that's just a straight facts, being like as blunt as possible. The same reason why I left. And I'm like, wow. So, but when you go in the groups, you see a lot of men talking about that. I'm tired of this. I'm like this, but they keep on going to the same country. And I'm like, all right, but me, I'm not like that. I'm not crazy. The definition of insanity, we all know that. I'm just like, fuck that shit. I'll go to Europe or go back to New York. I don't got time for this. So the thing is that. But speaking about the relations between the United States and Argentina, I actually didn't notice until like a month ago, but Argentina used to be a country that people could go to the United States without a visa. That changed recently, actually, and so yeah, because the United States loves Europeans, right? They give them
Right.
favors and shit. So I'm sure when their economy gets back on track, they're gonna open it back up again. So that's why they don't really. If I'm American, they don't give a fuck because they know like the European, they have advantages in the world. Let's keep it real, right?
True.
So,
True. Cool. I know you limited on time, man. I brought up Charles, which has been in Argentina, and I'm assuming Buck Charles been in Argentina. If y'all got a question for Mike before he got to drop off, y'all can ask him a question, and I'll rock out for another 20 minutes with y'all if y'all want to.
All right. So I got a question for Mike. So when is the best time to go to Argentina?
yeah.
Like in terms of like, do they have a rainy season, summer, winter, fall, whatever?
So the thing is, what is it? So one other chick just hit me up. I'm not saying I gotta go. I'm just saying that's just an example, right? I'll play the audio, and if you guys want, so you see I'm not lying. So that's 3 chicks for tonight, right? But but I still got time, right? I still got time. But just my boy, my weed man wanted to hang out, but I'll let him know like I was on the phone with my American brothers. But yeah, I'll answer some questions. You don't gotta worry about. But you're saying the best time to go. The most touristic time right now the most touristic time in Argentina is actually right now. If you look on Google and they tell you the most busiest time is from December to February. That's summer. That's not spring. That's actually summer. And I'm actually dying for February to come and go, so everybody can just go to Falcone, and yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it kind of makes sense because it's that country's in the southern hemisphere, so they're like their seasons is opposite of ours. So when it's winter over here, it's summer over there, and vice versa. When it's summer over here, it's winter over there. I just got back from Peru a week ago, and it was the same. Like the
Right?
weather
I
was
used to live in
perfect.
Peru. That's pretty cool.
Huh?
No, I used to live in
What's that?
Peru. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
But
that,
the best time to come would be if you like that. If you like busy, like when you like to come in the country's busy, things like that. It'd be right now. But the thing is, I from my experience living in both of the times, the women are going now. But man, like, yeah, in the winter, like they're super going.
So where in Argentina are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Puerto Madero, Buenos Aires.
Okay, I know exactly where that's at. There's like a river that flows right through that district.
Yeah, yeah. I think somebody was asking how's the healthcare in Argentina. A lot of students and a lot of people in general, they like to move to Argentina. They're having a lot of what we're having with Mexico. It's happening right now with Argentina. So it's actually free healthcare here. There's private healthcare if you want to go that route for quicker service, but there's free healthcare. So even me, I can get free healthcare.
Wow, that's dope. That's dope. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
And they don't hate you for taking advantage of like their schooling, their university, or their healthcare. They just see it. That's their culture. They like to, help. And even if you're black, they're not gonna just, treat you like shit. So there's a lot of Senegalese people here, Senegalese and Venezuelans, and yeah, they have their own little communities, and they go to school here. There's a brother, he's Haitian, he was in the Aces video. He actually was in. He made a movie, and my ex-girlfriend was in it. That was fucking crazy. Yeah. So he's actually in Georgia right now, and he to this day he thanks God. He's black, obviously. He's Haitian. He thanks God for Argentina for his free school and healthcare and things like that, and opportunity he gave him. So yeah, at being a Haitian, his country's bad. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Argentina, I was gonna ask you too. Oh, go ahead, bro.
There's a lot of Cameroonians down there too.
Cameroonians, but there's more Senegalese, Haitian, and Venezuelan. But the two most would be
and people from Curacao too.
Yeah, that's not really. So you speak to Argentinian, they're gonna tell you the same thing. Senegalese, mainly, and maybe Venezuelan, but you won't really hear Cameroon and those ones. Just speaking.
And the Senegalese are. I was saying the Senegalese are always by Obelisco selling sunglasses.
Yeah,
the Cameroonians are down there too.
Yep. But I always tell my family that, like, because everybody always worries about racism and shit. There's racism everywhere, but the Senegalese, they don't bother them here, believe it or not. They just let them do whatever they want. As big as their community gets, you would not assume that, they don't bother them here. They just, you'll see them like in their little community. It's like Chinatown, and they just do whatever they do,
I was gonna ask you real quick because Argentina sounded like Chile as far as I guess the more European side. The U.S. allows Chileans to visit the U.S. and a lot of Chilean women have their own money. So
yeah, I was gonna say like I bumped into so when I was in Peru, I bumped into a lot of Chilean people, like Chilean women, and man, they look European. Like at first, I thought they were European tourists, but when I start speaking to many of them, come to find out they were actually from Santiago, Chile. So,
Yep.
so like because Peru is like literally right there to Chile. So it's like you have a lot of Chilean tourists that visit Lima, Peru, and they got that European look to them too. So you are right, no excuse. Like they kind of have that Argentina look. They have the similar demographics.
They not broke either. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, the women over here, like Chilean women, they got the money over here, over there. Like they're not broke like Colombian women, Brazilian women. I mean, Chile is actually one of the most richest
Yeah,
South
exactly.
American countries per capita, not overall, but per capita. If you're looking at, yeah,
No, it is. Chile is Chile has the highest GDP in South
per
America.
capita, yeah.
But
Exactly.
but Mike, has Chile been on your radar? Have you been?
Chile, not so much because if I go to Chile, I'd essentially just be going to like a smaller Argentina, like the brother was saying. But I did hear a few of them when I asked them which men they liked the most. A few said Chile, and I found that interesting. But yeah, it's basically because they're very European as well. They have like a similar type of Argentina history in a sense, and they both kind of think the same. Um, but yeah, Argentina, I wouldn't. I a lot of times I don't feel like it's a poor country. It's just that it's so big. It's one of the biggest countries in Latin America, I think, in competition with Brazil, and obviously, they're gonna be poorer than the United States because we fuck a lot of countries over, But when our grip, falls off of like these countries,
Yeah.
yeah, it's only a matter of time because China, they like China a lot because China is helping their country grow versus trying to keep them in poverty. But yeah, I got off topic there, but Chile doesn't call my attention because I don't. The only place I can see myself living would be Santiago, and it would be so small. I'd probably, I don't know. I,
I
I need
mean, yeah.
options.
Hold on,
I
hold
mean,
on, hold on.
it's one of those places. I wouldn't say like, for example, like Lima. Like at Peru, when I first went there, like just before I went there, I had a certain view of it. I was like, nah, the women aren't not bad. But once I put boots on the ground, the women were bad, man. Like, and they got a sizable Afro Peruvians women out there,
Exactly.
and they look thick, man. Like there's a lot of there's a hidden. Peru is definitely a hidden gem, man.
Yeah.
But I definitely
um,
want to visit Argentina. Like
Yes.
that's always been on my bucket list. Is just that you can't just go any time of the year. You got to go during the right time. Which is like from December all the way to March, which is
I mean,
their summer
just
season.
just speaking to answer what you said there, Buck. I mean that thing about like the right time. I wouldn't say because once again I'm gonna answer the tourist visa thing. It's a great question, but I can't say it's the right time, man. You can come right now. I mean, you come. Argentina is like a party country. They love to party here. Man. Like if you go out, before we had Tinder in the United States in major cities like New York, places like that. Like you have to wait online to get inside a club. That's what it is like here in Argentina. I've never seen anything like this shit in my life. And I would tell like girls and shit, and they'll be like, they won't understand what I'm saying because it's normal here. Like they love to party, man. It don't matter if it's cold, if it's hot.
Hey,
Um,
Mike, let me ask you this: what's the population of the capital,
hold,
Argentina? The
hold
quick
on,
question. Quick question. Quick question. Let him. Just.
Answer that question, man, and then we're gonna go into closing thoughts, man.
yeah. So the population of the capital of Argentina is about 14 million right now. The population of the
You said
country,
14?
yeah, the country is
Okay,
40.
okay. So you're definitely gonna find somebody, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you go there, yeah.
Bro,
Okay.
you could have googled that, fam.
it's closing state.
Now it was just quick.
About, but Southern Creole had a really good question. So here, people stay here. A lot of Americans be here for 14 years, 7 years, blah blah. Argentina doesn't really give a fuck about that. I think everybody knows that about Argentina. You come and I left and I came back last month, whatever, and I was over in my 6 months. And yeah, you just come right in. You don't pay anything. You don't gotta worry about that shit.
All right, cool.
I definitely agree with you, man. Like guys need
we
to try other countries other than the big.
we gonna give closing thoughts, man. I'll start with Buck Travel, man. I want to hear more from Charles since he's been in Argentina, man. Just kind of give us your feedback and closing thoughts, and then I'll end with Mike.
All right.
So I can let you know when I'm done, and then see if.
So yeah, my bad. I was just playing that really quick. So yeah, that's how it works. They speak English. That was another proof there, and I'll drop some videos in the group.
That's a plus, man. If you could send that YouTube link, it's a private it's a private chat. You could just copy and paste the link. I'll put it in the main chat.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got you.
All right, go ahead, Buck Travel.
Yeah, man. So guys just need to, try something other than big three. Colombia, Brazil, and Dominican Republic. Because it's like I feel like them countries are getting played out. It's getting worn out. So it's just like I feel like guys need to start diversifying and start going to other locations of the world, man. So definitely, like I definitely want to hit most of those countries in South America, like Paraguay, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, all of the countries I definitely want to hit, man. Maybe not Bolivia because it's like landlocked. It's cold. Not a lot of things going on. But the other countries, like I definitely want to visit, man. Definitely diversify. That's the point of my comments.
All right, cool, bro, man. Appreciate you coming up, fam. All right, Charles, man, if you still with us, man, give us your closing thoughts, man, and your takeaways for this discussion.
All right, I just want to say to the guests, I'm so happy that you speak positive about Argentina. There's not too many guys that go down there, and I would like to see more of that, despite the alleged racism. Because truth be told, I feel a lot safer in Buenos Aires than I do in Birmingham, Alabama. That's just the fact of the matter there. That being said, you can't really get defensive and discredit anyone's information. Everything I said in the chat was 100% fact. Now, you're not experiencing this, and I'm really happy. You're there on the day-to-day, 24/7, 365, and that's cool. But you gotta understand, the majority of the population is, as I stated. So you can't really just sit there and dismiss what others who have been there have had to say about the country. Now, that being said, I'm not discrediting your experiences. In fact, that actually makes me happy that you're winning down there. So keep doing that and keep flying the flag for us all. And that's all I got to say.
All right, appreciate you, Charles, man. All right, let me unmute you, Mike.
For sure, Charles. But so the thing is, I forgot to say these two things is that a lot of them, they hear it, like I said, they have money, right? So they travel a lot. Like the girl that was just talking, she's going to 3 countries next month, and she used to live in New York. Another one that I was fucking with last week, she just went to Florianopolis for a month. She has 56 properties here that she owns.
God
That's
damn.
crazy, yeah. And then another thing is that another chick, she just got back from, I think, Thailand or some shit. She travels a lot, lives in different places. She was dating an American guy who he took her to California. They lived a little bit there for a while. He tried to marry her in 6 months. She dumped him and went back to Argentina. So, like that's how they are here. That money shit won't really work, and they love their country. And I have many stories like that. Another guy tried to do a visa in 6 months. Some shit, she dumped his ass. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my closing statements, but I don't want to take up any more time, Bob. I'll just say whoever wants to come here, a brother just got here. Me and him gonna be chilling here for about a few months. He'll be here for a few months. Shoot on ball. If you're normal, hey, I'll fuck with you. Show you around. We can go out. Maybe throw some chicks your way, or we can go out, with her friend or something. But if you're, that's if you're normal. So the normal types come here. You'll be straight.
He said the oops, man. Real quick, can you find women from Argentina that can get a tourist visa to visit you in the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, they have like European passports. They're part of that, that European shit that the United States has. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like this chick, she was in New York. Another chick, actually from my same place in Brooklyn. She's American. She just came here, but a lot of times I'll be in New York, and then they'll be there, and we'll go back or some shit, and they'll be in like the same place. So that's interesting. It depends where you are, but where I'm at, like I said, it's the richest place in Latin America. So yeah, a lot of these women, they if they wanted to come tomorrow, they can, and they won't. You try to pay for them, they'll be like, no, I got it. So yeah.
okay, cool, man. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate man, your time, man. Very much appreciated, man. I'm gonna hit you on the back end, man, because I gotta see some of them photos, man. But get it in for your boy, man. And salute, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you, and this went better than I thought it would. It was professional and not just about pussy. So I like this.
All right, cool, man. Peace out. But yeah, there y'all have it, man. We talked Argentina. Definitely, if you was on the edge, I think you guys should give it a chance. Sounds like a hidden gem, man. So I'm gonna let y'all go on this Saturday, and we'll keep it popping next week. So.
Yeah. Got the flight book, it's a library. I'm in that deal. Just took a flight to Bora Bora and foreign cars like foreigners. Berry on her. Up in France, bitch, bonjour. I been come to Garçon, we going Paris tomorrow. Only Paris we carry, spin at the mall. We doing the same alone. My diamonds be saying, add some more change. That's the same alone. Dripping all the way from home and taking the wrong. Got the flight book, it's a library. We ain't flying solo. Tune in to the show. It's the Passport Bros. No excuse entertainment. Jay Slay on the show. Turn it up some more. It's the Passport Bros.